Hello, this is Tayo. I welcome you to a new week and I wish you great success in all your endeavors and your pursuits this week. The question I'm going to be addressing today, I got a question and the person asked, what is the difference between the excision file number and the excision? Now, the excision is a title, and we also have a couple of landowners who will say that the title on their land is excision file number. Now, by the time I'm done with the video, you will see the difference between the two, and you can understand why you cannot regard an excision file number as a title. And then some of you who have actually, made effort. Maybe you'll be looking out. You want to invest. You want to buy land. At some point or the other, you must have come across some of these terms. Somebody says, "Okay, the title on this land is excision." Some will say what we have is excision file number. So what is the difference between the excision and the excision file number? First, let's look at the word excision. Excision itself, on one hand, is some kind of tax levied, tax levied on goods and services by the government on one hand. On the other hand, it's a term used in the medical field to mean to cut off something. So they can say they want to cut off some kind of tumor or something. So instead of saying we want to cut off a tumor, they say excise the tumor. So excise basically means to cut off something. Now, in the context of land titles in Lagos, as some of you may already know, that because of the Land Use Act of 1978, every land is now under the authority of the governor of a state. Further to that, sometime in I think in the early 90s or the late 80s, the government of Lagos State moved to acquire every land in Lagos that is yet to be registered as a village or a community, something like that. So if your land at the time when this acquisition was done, if your land is yet to be registered with the state government, either as a village or as a community, the land was acquired by the government. Now, following the acquisition of certain lands in Lagos State, for instance, no Bale, no chief or whatever has authority over their lands. So, if they have need for these lands, what they now do is to go to the government to apply, to go to the government and say, we need our land to be able to do this, to be able to do that. This is our ancestral land bequeathed to us by our forefathers. It is our source of livelihood. We need this land to be able to, for the economic growth, for the development of our village, of our community. So they go to the government and, file an application or a request for their land to be given back to them. So they can go to the government and say, the land we have here is maybe 100 hectares. And the government will look at the application and, eventually decide and say, okay, we'll give you maybe 60 hectares. If, for instance, they say the land we have here is 100 hectares, the government can say, based on a lot of factors that have been considered, the government will now decide to give them maybe 60 hectares or 50 hectares or something, just as an example. Now, that act of taking land, out of the bigger expanse and taking part of it to give to a community or to give to a village chief or to, in some cases, even to sometimes these applications are actually sponsored by property development companies and even individuals. Now, the act of taking a smaller portion out of a larger expanse of land and giving back to the people, is what is called excision, right? So when you come across land where it is described or it is said to have an excision title, what it basically means is that the government has taken, that land out of a bigger, maybe out of a bigger expanse. It doesn't really matter. But the important thing is to know that the land itself has been excised by the government, to the community. And such a land is safe to buy, 100%. Okay, so again, the village head or the representative of the village head files an application for excision to the government, and there's a process for it. The government looks at the application, and once the village folks are able to fulfill all the conditions of the excision process, then they eventually get the land excised to them, and such a land will be said to have an excision title. So that's what excision means. The excision file number now is just a reference number for the excision application, right? So if somebody comes and says the title of our land is excision file number, they begin to wonder. Excision, that number is the number you get when you apply for an excision. Okay, so it's just a file number. It's a reference number. So if, for instance, we have a couple of lands that we are selling, and if you ask us, we'll tell you, well, the excision is being processed, and we'll tell you, well, we have the excision file number. Okay, so what you can do with the excision file number is to go and find out the status of that land, or to find out how much progress has been made in the excision application process. Okay, so it is wrong to say that the title of a land is an excision. What you can say is, you can say the status of this land. Sorry, it is wrong to say that the title of the land is excision file number. What you can say is that the status of this land is that it's got an excision file number, which tells us that an excision has been applied for, and with the file number we can actually go and check the status of the application, or how much progress has been made with respect to the application. So as a summary, an excision is land that the government has taken from a larger expanse and given to a community, or given to a village chief or a village head, right? And it's a valid title, it's a secured, it's a safe title, while the excision file number is just a reference number for an excision application. I hope you understand that, and I hope you learned something. Thank you for watching today's video, and please look forward to my next video on Friday. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching on other social media handles, please follow me. And also, if you have questions with respect to real estate, please ask. You can ask in the comment section. You can send me a direct message. I will answer your questions. Thanks for watching. See you soon.